island girl, and I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're from Andros.
You know, the first order of business in South Andros was to bridge Little Creek.
We have a wonderful picture of him looking at that bridge,
the little bridge,
looking over it. Yeah.
In 1968, that was done because the residents who lived on the other side, going south to Deep Creek, was it Deep Creek? Deep Creek. They had to in Little Creek itself. They had to sit on the rocks until the tide went down, in order to get across to go to Deep Creek or to come back home in Little Creek. And the people said to Pindling, if you will bridge this creek for us, we will vote for you. And so it was a solemn promise he made to those people. They used to sit on the rocks with their baskets on their heads, waiting for the tide to go down the road for them to walk across to get home. And it was about the people. And the people saw the changes. And the people saw the developments, especially in the Family Islands.
Yeah.
At home where I came from, listen, I sailed to Nassau on a sloop as big as what the boat's name? My tidal wave, my favorite.
Raleigh Gray's tidal wave.
Yeah.
To
sail from Andros to Nassau. We had no airport. It was, I hear people talking, you have no idea, you don't know what you're talking about. The islands were so neglected. There was so much to be done. I know they should have talked to the people, enlightened the people, but I guess there was so much to be done. They didn't have the time. But looking back now in hindsight, we should have made the time. Because Bahamians really do not understand where we have come from.
But even when there was an effort, to Pindling's credit, when there was an effort for him to do some things, like bring the people along from an educational point of view as to who the people were, the founding fathers of the country, the new country that we had, the people who made that contribution, the first cabinet, those who had done so many wonderful things, and they begun an exercise by putting things on exercise books, informational pieces and that, so that we can live as a part of the history and we could have grown with the country. That was discouraged because of all those persons who were detractors of it. And even though it happened, I'm saying the effort was made to educate us as we went along. But it did not happen because there were some other people who actually held sway. And Pindling, being the kind of leader that he was, and you know him, that he was your husband, he would listen and try to see how best everybody would have been on one page of this thing. And so those early days, I think he made an effort to basically bring everybody into the fold and say, we're listening to everybody and what everybody's saying. But that was a mistake, because today the young people don't have the connection. They have no idea. And 40 years later, here we are fighting, stabbing.
I think we have regressed.
Killing.
We've regressed.
Stealing.
Because it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't be.
This is not the country that Pindling built.
No. And I look back and I said, you watch the evening news, and you watch the parents, the mothers, the fathers, the sisters, pulling their hair out, screaming for the children. Lyndon Pindling introduced National Youth Service.
I remember well.
They said he wanted an army.
I remember well.
And I know the unkind words, the letters that we've received down through the press. Send your own children. Send Leslie and Obie. You want army. Now you look back today and says, great God from Zion.
What is this that we have done?
How many lives we would not have saved?
Can I ask you, do you think